Right. Well, I'm alive. I'm live. I'm live. Here we are. It's Wycliffe Barrett here on YouTube. And I was kind of hoping that this would go to Explain Dedicated. Now I'm not quite sure whether that's happening. We'll have to see. But I hope you can hear me. Let's move this microphone closer. Let's get that a bit closer. Hope you can hear me okay. Regardless of whether you can hear me or not, maybe I should start. So, in the last few days, we've had Flight Expo 2018 in Las Vegas, or Flight SimCon 2018 in Las Vegas. I cannot remember what it was called. It was going to be called Flight SimCon. Then it's gone, I think it's Flight Expo. Anyway, the last few days, it took place, I think, last weekend. I was in New York on vacation, and I wasn't going to go to Vegas anyway. I couldn't get a sponsor to send me there. But that is not the point. The point of this broadcast is, quite simply, that Flight Sim Expo kind of has thrown like a curved ball at the flight simulation world because of PMDG, I think. I've been looking at other blogs and videos that people have done. I've been looking at those, and I've been trying to get information and gather what was going on. So, first of all, my understanding is that the Flight Sim Expo itself was fantastic. It was fantastically organized. You had lots of main developers there and hardware manufacturers, both with computers and flight simulation hardware as well. So that was fantastic. Apparently, it was brilliant from that point of view. My friend Matt Davis was there from the United Kingdom. He went as a participant. At one point, he was going to be a guest speaker, but something happened. I'm not going to go into that. But what was interesting was PMDG. Now, for us in the X-Plane world, PMDG they're kind of, I don't know, we kind of look at them as if they're going to solve all our problems in the flight simulation world in X-Plane and bring us wonderful aircraft. They've only done it with one aircraft. It was DC-6, and that went into X-Plane 10, and it wasn't very well received. I don't think it sold many units. It's not an aircraft that I would want to fly, even though I bought it. It cost a lot of money. I bought it, and I don't think I ever flew it properly. I have never flown it properly at all, which is a shame, really. But anyway, and since that time, PMDG have done nothing for the X-Plane community. They haven't updated the DC-6 to X-Plane 11. They haven't announced any other aircraft that they may be porting over, any of the legacy aircraft, such as the 737 or the 747. Or the MD-11. In fact, they've stopped support on the MD-11. So, they kind of, and this is what Robert Randazzo does. He doesn't say anything, he doesn't do anything, and then all of a sudden, bang. And this is what happened on the weekend at Flight Sim Expo. He did a presentation about something called, and I haven't even got the name right because I haven't written it down, but something like Flight Sim Global or something. And my understanding is it's a global network whereby you can join and all your stats can be kept, and you can fly. You can save the situation of your aircraft. Say I fly from Heathrow to Malpensa in northern Italy, and I land. I can register my flights on this global network, and somebody else could pick up my flight in Malpensa and take my aircraft with the settings and everything and the same registration and call sign somewhere else. That's part of it. And there's obviously a lot more to it that I have not found out about, but there is a cost for this as well. It's going to cost you. And that seems, on the surface of it, okay. But, and this is the thing, from my point of view, this is my personal opinion, okay, nothing more. They're claiming it took them 10 years to come up with this idea. Wow. And not only that, it seems to be in direct I'm not even going to say direct competition, but it goes. How can I say this? Okay, I'll do it the other way. Project Fly, which is produced here in the United Kingdom by Matt Davis, does all of that and much more. It allows you to get all your data from all sorts of networks and everything, and it shows data from all networks, etc. And Project Fly is being developed further into the future. PMDG seem to have come up with a model identical to Project Fly, but they're saying they've taken 10 years to develop it, or it's been an idea that's been around for 10 years, and through that 10-year period, it's been an idea and then a feasibility study, and now the final thing. And it just seems to be a little bit, I don't know what the word is I want to use, but a little bit misguided, direct competition against Project Fly, etc. And I'm just really not quite sure where PMDG are going. Now, Robert Randazzo has released a statement, I think yesterday, I read it early hours of this morning, where he was talking about X-Plane, the future of PMDG and X-Plane. And that statement was almost as bad as Trump's statement from North Korea. It had no substance whatsoever. There were vague references to X-Plane in the future with no kind of time scale or roadmap or anything like that. So I'm really, PMDG, I'm not going to say they're clinging on to an old platform, but they're not embracing a new platform as many others are, as many others are. So I find that really strange. I'm just looking at the chat here. Global flight operations. Thank you, Swiftbird. I thought it was sorry for something like that. Sorry for skipping the formalities. Good to see you again, Wycliffe. Thank you, Swiftbird. Yeah, you agree with the comparison to Project Flight. However, that excites me. What excites me about the concept is the ACAR's incorporation into their aircraft. Yeah, okay. As I say, I haven't got all the detail on global flight operations, but there was a couple of other things that happened at Flight SimCom as well that was a little bit strange regarding Robert Randazzo and some of the people that he met, some people that he professed to hate, etc. So I just find it a little bit odd. Anyway, so that was the big thing coming out of Flight Sim Expo 2018 Las Vegas. That was the big thing. The next big thing for X-Plane users was Laminar's presentation, which, from what I've seen, the main deal about that is the new particle system that will be coming into effect in 11.30, 11:30. Not the time 11:30, but 11.30. Anyway, and looking at that and looking at some of the stuff that Ben Sutnick presented is really, really quite incredible. The particle system in terms of smoke, tire smoke, engine fires for developers. So what he presented was for developers and as they called it, I think they called it aircraft artists. That looks incredibly exciting for the future of X-Plane 11, without a doubt. And I suspect that when RAF Cosford comes around in October, and I will be going, XPD is going to RAF Cosford. I suspect when that comes around, I'm pretty sure that Ben Sutnick and Austin Mayer will be at RAF Cosford to present that to the European and UK audience as well. And so we'll get a more fully rounded, comprehensive explanation of what Laminar are up to. And in fact, between now and October, there are several months between now and October, and I suspect that by the time we get to October, there'll be even more revelations to come out from Laminar and Ben Sutnick and Austin Mayer. So exciting times for X-Plane, I think. Vulcan is still some way away. The PMDG situation, I think all of us need to watch that carefully. When I say watch it carefully, watch to see what is happening, because I think, that they may what's the word I'm looking for? They might miss the boat a little bit. I know they did when they presented that aircraft, that DC-6. They certainly missed a trick there. They went in the wrong direction. They should have worked hard and released the DC a 737 or something, and they would be in a better position with the X-Plane community. Once again, this is only my opinion, my thoughts out of my silly head here, which at the moment is still suffering with jet lag from New York. My body is really hurting, I think, and that's probably because of all the walking and exercise and visiting that we did last week in New York. This week, the body has said, right, now you can start aching. So I've got a terrible backache, and I'm feeling tired, terribly tired all the time. But that's another story. So those are the two big things, I think, from Flight Sim Expo 2018 Las Vegas. I'm really looking forward to RAF Cosford this year. I think it's going to be a bumpy year for flight simulation overall. I think it's going to be a fantastic year for flight simulation overall. But I think RAF Cosford this year is going to be, it's just going to be right off the chain, so to speak, as they say. I will not be doing a presentation in the main hall as I did last year. I found that incredibly stressful, very tiring, but also great fun. But I will be there. And the X-Plane dedicated stand will be sponsored by Wired to Fire, and we will have X-Plane dedicated members working on the stand. When I say working, they'll be helping on the stand, talking to customers, talking to people, talking about X-Plane, because that's what X-Plane dedicated is about. It's about promoting what I think, and many others think, is the premier flight simulation in the market. Right. It would be nice if we gave X-Plane another go. Certainly would. Certainly would. But there we are. Just as an aside, I saw something this morning, which I always find this. I go away on holiday and I kind of lose my mojo. It takes me a while to get back into things. And I've also been doing some negotiation with a flying site for the drone racing. So it always takes me a little while to get back into things after I've been away on holiday. But I noticed something this morning about ground handling by Jar Design, and ground handling by Jar Design, Ground Handling Deluxe. Jar Design have now made a VR module for it, so it now works in VR. And I was reading about that this morning, and they've streamlined the menu system for calling ground handling vehicles, and it looks really, really good. Now, if you already own Ground Handling Deluxe, it's a free upgrade. If you don't own Ground Handling Deluxe, then you have to buy the product in entirety. So I'm going to be doing a review on that hopefully this weekend, and I've also got reviews of a couple of other things coming up as well, and I've got some scenery I'm looking at that's being developed. I can't say by whom at the moment. You probably know anyway, but I think I'm under an NDA. I can't even show any screenshots for it, but I'm looking at scenery and advising on that, and I will be reviewing that in due course as well. So I think that's about it. I've got a few jobs to do this morning. Just looking at my new watch, my new Android watch. There we go. You can see it coming on every now and again. Very, very cool. I've got a few jobs to do this morning. So I think that is about as much time as I want to give to this live broadcast. And I hope that everybody's okay, that you could hear me okay. Swiftbird, maybe if you could just tell me if the volume is okay on the mic and you can hear me all right. Just put a note there and I will see that, obviously. So, sorry for not being for being unshaven. It's pretty bad. Oh, one piece of exciting news that I forgot about. Frank Kane from SkyMax Pro, or Silver Lining, as his company is called. Frank Kane is in the UK at the moment. He arrived only the other day. And I'll be meeting him on Friday. He's coming to Cardiff. When I met him in Florida a couple of years ago, I promised then, if he ever came to the UK, that I would take him around Cardiff and South Wales and treat him to a pint of Brains SA. So Frank Kane is going to be here on Friday. I don't know whether I'm going to do any video with him or interview him or anything, because he's not here to talk about SkyMax Pro. I think he's here to come and see the UK and Wales and just have a holiday. His daughter's here, and she's off doing her thing, and Frank is being like a safety net in case, you know, she needs help. But she's off doing her thing, and he's coming to Cardiff on Friday. So I'll be meeting Frank and taking him around Cardiff and South Wales. So that is really cool. I look forward to that. Thank you very much, Swiftbird. Very clear today. He says, it's because I'm using the snowball. That's why. And I've got it here. The snowball is a fabulous mic, but sometimes it can sound as if I'm underwater for some reason. But there we go. All right. I'm feeling tired now. Jet lag is coming in. Okay, guys, we'll see you soon. I hope the video stays up. I'm not quite sure whether it's going to end up on my channel or not, so we'll see, because this is the first time I've done this new live stream using YouTube's new camera thing. Okay? Anyway, see you soon. Cheerio.